Hey everyone, this is Alex with Influence LA, and we're back with another episode in our series called The State of Wrestling. This is, of course, where we take a look at the current state of pro wrestling, mainly consisting of WWE and AEW, respectively. And of course, this past week we had a ton going on in WWE and AEW in both companies. Of course, with AEW, the big news coming out of there is the rated R superstar Adam Copeland, formerly known as Edge, debuted officially with AEW at AEW's Wrestle Dream pay-per-view that took place last week. It was a huge monumental moment. It ended up being the #1 trending video on YouTube for multiple days after the fact. So AEW, of course, is riding that huge momentum, and they officially announced Adam Copeland's first match will be taking place on next week's Dynamite, which actually falls on Tuesday night, as opposed to the regular Wednesday night schedule that they always fall on. And that, of course, is because of the MLB playoffs going on and the obligations they have with the TBS network already. So AEW has been officially moved to Tuesday night just for this coming week. And of course, WWE normally airs their NXT programming on Tuesday nights. So they've actually counter-programmed against AEW for this week with a huge star-studded lineup on NXT to counter-program Adam Copeland, the Rated R Superstars debut on AEW. They have booked Cody Rhodes to make a special announcement. They have John Cena coming down to be in the corner of Carmelo Hayes as he faces Braun Breaker, with Paul Heyman coming in to be in Braun Breaker's corner. So that dynamic's super interesting. And then Asuka's set to wrestle on the show. So all in all, and The Undertaker, as of late, is kind of a last minute addition, but it looks like The Undertaker will be making an appearance on WWE NXT. Basically, if you guys want to call it the WWE style Avengers or whatever you want to call it, it's definitely an interesting concept for them to counter program this much and load up this much on an NXT card with this much star-studded talent. So it'll be interesting to see. But the big thing is, the big winner coming out of this and everything that should not be overlooked is the fans, as we're going to get great pro wrestling. 2 great pro wrestling shows are going to take place on Tuesday night, as well as everything else that takes place on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown with the fallout from Fastlane. So overall, this week in pro wrestling is going to be absolutely awesome. The state of pro wrestling is as better as it's ever going to be right now. And it's only going to continue to elevate as the CM Punk rumors started to really swirl and pick up this week. And of course, the rumors we're talking about is CM Punk is rumoredly in discussions with WWE internally about making a return. Of course, this could either take place at Survivor Series, with the biggest indicator and the factor being that it's taking place in Chicago, and the little nods and drops they've been dropping in commentary, the little Easter eggs with CM Punk references, can be construed as either Easter eggs for CM Punk's impending arrival, or just maybe them just teasing the audience and kind of going along with it. Either way, I think WWE's picked up on it, and now they're going to tease the fans one way or the other. It's very interesting to see if CM Punk actually ends up making his way to WWE. It'll be one of the biggest moments in recent pro wrestling history, besides him making his return or debut/return in AEW. Of course, Phil Brooks, CM Punk, comes with a lot of baggage. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the guy. It'll be interesting to see if WWE ends up deciding to do business with him. But all in all, if it ends up happening, of course, TKO, which is now the ownership group that owns WWE, is going to be super stoked to have him. And it'll be very interesting to see what kind of program they put him in going into WrestleMania. So we'll wait to see on that. But again, guys, that is one of the big rumors coming out of this week is CM Punk. Phil Brooks is in negotiations with WWE about making a potential return. But then moving on to some talents that may not actually be negotiating with WWE. FTR, of course, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler lost the AEW Tag Team Championships this past weekend on AEW Collision to Ricky Starks and Big Bill. So a lot of speculation led to the fact that maybe FTR is trying to get out of their contracts and finish up. Maybe they were upset about the CM Punk situation. A trademark was filed for CMFTR. But that could end up being used anywhere, even including WWE, New Japan, outside of AEW potentially. So, but there's not a lot of anything to this rumor, guys. The big thing you got to look at is FTR recently re-signed earlier this year. It was set to be a multi-year contract, and Adam Copeland is someone who they're super close to and admire. So of course they ended up, Adam Copeland just debuted. So why would they be so quick to want to leave the company now all of a sudden? It doesn't make too much sense. Of course, now also we're not going to get Young Bucks and FTR at Full Gear, which was the expected matchup. We'll end up getting a potentially fresh matchup if Big Bill and Ricky Starks end up holding the titles for that long. Me personally, I'm still campaigning to see a ladder match. I'm going to be there live in attendance. I would love to see the Young Bucks in a classic tag team ladder match, potentially win the championship in their home state of California. We'll wait to see if it ends up happening. But yeah, guys, so FTR, don't plan on seeing them go anywhere. If anything, this was more to write them off of television and give them some much-deserved rest, as they have been working extremely hard these past couple months. And if any tag team deserves a little time off in the entire pro wrestling industry, it's FTR. So don't put too much stock in that. And then moving on to wrap things up in this State of Wrestling episode, guys, we just briefly wanted to touch on some of the results from this past weekend's premium live event that WWE held, Fastlane. Of course, from Indianapolis, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, the unlikely pair, they teamed up to win the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships from the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Huge shocker to open the show. Definitely caught me by surprise and a lot of the WWE audience out there, I'm assuming. I definitely didn't see it coming. I highly doubt a lot of other people did. But either way, we had new tag team champions. JD McDonough accidentally hit Damian Priest in the knee with the briefcase, which caused him to be out towards the end, and then it ended up allowing Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso to get the advantage over Finn Balor to win the championships. Their press conference was one of the more hilarious things I've seen all year. They definitely had a good time celebrating their championship win, if you know what I mean, before they hit the stage for the press conference. So if you guys haven't yet, check out their press conference online. That is Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. It was definitely pretty funny to watch. But yeah, guys, congratulations to those two on winning the tag team championships. Of course, we saw John Cena and LA Knight team up to defeat the Bloodline, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. And a big moment for LA Knight here to share the stage with John Cena on a premium live event and get the nod of approval from John Cena. So they're definitely priming LA Knight here for a big push, potentially a match with Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship coming up. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening in the near future. But LA Knight is definitely now in the crosshairs of the Bloodline, of course, along with John Cena. We'll have to wait and see how things shake out there. Roman Reigns is set to return this Friday night on SmackDown, the long-awaited return of the Tribal Chief. So we'll have to wait and see definitely what he has to say with everything that's been going on. And his absence has been very, very noticeable. It has made the heart grow fond. He's going to get one of the biggest reactions we've seen in a long time. So it'll be very, very interesting to see what he says, but it'll be must-see, tune-in TV for sure. So this Friday night, don't miss it. But of course, to wrap things up, we saw Seth Rollins retain his World Heavyweight Championship over Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. A lot of people speculated that maybe Shinsuke would end up pulling it out and Seth Rollins would end up having to step away to get the surgery he needs, but it turns out they're going to keep the ball rolling with Seth Rollins just a little bit longer. We thought maybe a cash-in by Damian Priest would end up happening. It ended up not happening. So Seth Rollins is still the World Heavyweight Championship. However, they did mention as the show closed, another CM Punk reference as Rollins was celebrating in the crowd with the championship. So we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being anything and if CM Punk ends up being linked to Seth Rollins going forward. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the current state of pro wrestling. So definitely a good time to be a wrestling fan. A lot of good storylines playing out on Raw and SmackDown and across WWE programming in general. And then AEW is, of course, now in a whole new era, the rated R era. Adam Copeland is now officially with AEW. They're definitely putting their best foot forward, moving into Full Gear. They already have Jay White and MJF established as one of the main event caliber matches coming up at Full Gear. So good things happen in AEW. Good things happen in WWE. Tuesday night is set to be an explosive night of pro wrestling as WWE NXT goes head-to-head with AEW Dynamite. Both cards are stacked. Both shows are must-see, can't miss. So figure out a way to see both, whether you catch the highlights from one and watch one live or the other. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up our State of Wrestling episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave some comments or your thoughts and opinions down below on what you guys thought of Fastlane, what you guys think of Adam Copeland and AEW, what you guys potentially think is going to happen this Tuesday night when AEW and NXT put two star-studded stacked cards on television. What do you guys think ends up being the result of it? Who do you think ends up winning the television ratings or whatever? Whatever you guys think, drop your thoughts down below. We appreciate all the love and feedback, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. All right.